Cuirs by Carner Barcelona is often compared to the beautiful black juice of Black Afghano from Nasomato. I tested this one years ago. When I went to New York, I went to go check out this little place called Min New York back in 2011. And I tested out this Carner line that just came out. I agreed at the time. I was like, it smells kind of like my jewel right here. Now we're going to see years later, and I mean years later. I'm getting old. See if I remember this fragrance correctly and see if it really does compare to my jewel, BA. Let's go. Fragrance family, welcome to taking a test drive. This is where I test drive a scent prior to purchasing or forgetting about it. I wear them for 1 to 2 wearings and let you know my thoughts. Today, as the title suggests, I'm taking a test drive of Cuirs by the niche brand of Carner Barcelona. A sample I purchased on fragrancex.com. You can utilize my sweet code ROBES08 and get 15% off on anything at fragrancex.com. They do have samples. They do vary from, I think I've seen them as low as $1 and some to right up to $10. So you really do need to do your research and see which one is actually worth it for you for a sample. But that one, well worth it. I just really wanted to test out Cuirs again and see what I get from it. Now let's look under the hood for some stats on this one. Release date was 2011. It was one of the initial launches. Fragrance house, of course, is Carner Barcelona. Concentrations Eau de Parfum. And the nose behind this one is Sonia Constant. She also did come back to make another fragrance for Carner Barcelona, so they were obviously pleased with the product of Cuirs. She came back in 2013 and made another fragrance for them. Major notes to my nose. Cuirs came out as a sandalwood, leather, and oud-based scent to my nose. Now on to my day with Cuirs. While the opening of Cuirs is not what you'd come to expect from a leather-based scent. It is dark, yes, but it has much more woods than leather up front with that opening. It has some spices mingling through, saffron mostly, but there's a lightness of cumin in here. So some people are going to get an animalic feel to this fragrance a little bit. They're saying that the leather has a little bit of bite. That's the cumin right there. I felt the cumin was just perfect in this fragrance. I felt the cumin was just enough to give this fragrance just a little bit of bite. There's also some patchouli running through this fragrance. There is some sweetness from the tonka that makes it less dark than, let's say, a Black Afghano, and it's much less green than a Black Afghano, actually, even though it has some green aspects to this particular fragrance. The oud here is fairly discreet, but makes its mark and pairs well with the creamy sandalwood. The opening of Cuirs is more about the dry woods, the greens, the sweetness, than really the leather. The leather's present, but I didn't feel like it had much bite in this opening. The cypriol oil is the main culprit here in this scent, as it is front and center, giving this scent a dry, woody, earthy tones with a spicy hit. It reminds me a bit of kind of like those old westerns where you have your horse and you got that leather strap that you strap onto a piece of wood so the horse doesn't run away. That's what it makes me think of. More wood than actual leather, but used leather a little bit here. Now, once we get into the heart of Cuirs, this scent did not move much on my skin, to be quite honest, as the primary notes of sandalwood, oud, and leather are still back in the scent. The leather itself did punch up more into the heart here. It did throw off a little bit of smoke here in the heart too, but it isn't that huge in this fragrance. It does punch up, but it's not that big. I really felt like the woods overpowered this fragrance, and it was mostly woody than anything. I found some balsamic qualities starting through the heart, which come from the labdanum and the ambery tones. So it really doesn't surprise me that this thing is compared to BA because of the heavy woods. It's not more of a leather scent. It's more of a woody, green type scent, but also has, of course, like balsamic qualities. It does have some leather. It has some oud. It has some tonka, so it has some sweetness. It has, it's not as dark or as green as this fragrance, but it does have some dark and green aspects that it pulls from this fragrance. But it's got a lot more going for itself. The blend in Cuirs, well done. I feel like every single one that I've smelt from this brand, I always felt like it had a smoothness to the fragrance. It had a really good blend. And even though this fragrance does run very dark, it did run really smooth on my skin all day, which I certainly appreciated. Now let's get into the Revolver of this scent. Quick few takes on a few important items. Let's take a look at seasons. I felt like this fragrance was built more for fall. I'd wear like a black Afgano more for winter, but this has a smoothness to it, a texture to it that I felt it would be much smoother and well presented more into our Canadian falls. Day or night, I feel like this is more night action fragrance. I really don't feel like this fragrance would be something to wear in the office or daily wear. I could see it wearing casually during the day, like a really, really cool day, and you want to be a little more crazy with your scent. Yeah, I could see that, but more of a nighttime fragrance. Versatility for this type of fragrance. A lot of these type of fragrances don't have much versatility to them. They just punch doors out of their sockets. This fragrance has more versatility to it because I felt like it had more smoothness to it. It really wasn't punching people in the nose. It really had some smoothness to it. So a little more versatility on this fragrance. Performance-wise, longevity was outstanding on my skin. I was getting 8 to 12 hours, no problems there. Projection was a little less than high for me. It lasts and lasts, but it doesn't throw off too much. Actually, almost perfect for performance-wise. Now let's round things up. This one right here is very dear to Sarah Carner, the owner of Carner Barcelona, because her family has a strong heritage with leather. Cuirs by Carner Barcelona is a fragrance that I've always had on my to-buy list. I truly thought back in 2011 that I have a bottle of this by now and would be my first purchase from the brand. Alas, I just finally purchased something, of course, from the brand, and it was Elborn. I already got a review on this fragrance on my channel, but Cuirs is right behind it. I really want to get my hands on this fragrance as soon as possible. After about 7 years since I've smelt this fragrance, my idea really hasn't changed much of this fragrance. I don't recall if I really felt like this was just the same as BA, but I remember it being close to Black Afgano. I still think it's a very solid release from the brand. I will be picking this one up. It does remind me of Black Afgano meets kind of Lo Deno Nero, another fragrance that I just purchased. Gucci Intense Oud a little bit. So it has that kind of blend of those type of fragrances. If I had to give this one a score currently, I'd have to give this one a very high score of a 9 out of 10 on my channel. This is a very solid release from the house of Carner Barcelona. So guys, I would love to hear your take on this one in the comments below. If you have sniffed it, good or bad, I'd love to hear it. If not, please share with us your favorite release from the house of Carner Barcelona. You know, I've smelt only, I think, 3 or 4 of these fragrances over my years, so it's nice to see what you guys think are the jewels of the brand. If you enjoyed this content, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, my bell down there. It's also waiting to be rung. Are you part of my notification gang yet? If you haven't checked me out already, I am on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, and I'm also on Facebook. The links are all down below. You can also join my Facebook group. I have a group called Fragrance Guru Nation, where you and 14,700 other scent heads discuss fragrances. Join us today. Links are all down below. Now I'm going to leave you with a few takes from social media. Certainly appreciate it. Everyone on social media that gave their take on Cuirs. So you're going to see a little bit of different opinions than me, hopefully, on this scent, so you can kind of see where the scent goes. As always, I'd love to let you know that a great or poor fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely. Thanks for watching.